We're making one of my favourite stews today, which is beef and potato. It's been a while since I've done a stew, even though it's quite hot in Australia. I'm a little bit crazy doing this, but it is a really simple dish and it's quite cheap as well. As far as the prep goes, we've got 8 shallots here, and what I've done with these is just sliced off the tip, left the root intact, but then sliced them in half, peeled them, and then just leave them like that. That's all we need to do. Then what I have here is just 4 cloves of garlic that I've grated just on a microplane to create that paste. Make sure you do scrape it out of there though, so you don't get any waste. You can also slice it or even crush it and then dice it that way. It's up to you how you want to do it. As for the beef, I'm using chuck steak. This is 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds. It's already diced and had all of the fat removed. You can buy it like this, and if it isn't like that, you can ask your butcher to do so. We need 400 grams of baby potatoes. These are just being sliced in half. You can leave the peels on, wash them, do what you need to do. And if they are a little bit big, just make sure you trim them up to the same size. Last but not least, for the prep, we need 5 grams of flat leaf parsley and 5 grams of thyme that's been roughly chopped. If your thyme is quite woody, you will need to pick the leaves off. Other than that, just make sure there is no stems in your food. And then the rest of the ingredients are really simple. We need some tomato paste, a little bit of brown sugar, soy sauce, corn flour, some beef stock, a little bit of smoked paprika, then some butter, oil, and salt and pepper. Let's get straight into it.
Now this recipe is really easy to put together. We're just going to place a large pan over a medium-high heat, add in 2 tablespoons or 40 milliliters of olive oil, getting that a little bit hot. Then we can add in the beef, add a pinch of salt, and if you don't have a big enough pan, you will have to do this in batches because we don't want the meat to steam and we want to get a really nice colour onto this. Mix this all through. We're going to sear this for 6 minutes to get that browning all over. The fat will start to render if you do have any fat, and there's a little bit of extra flavour, but this one's quite lean. And once you do have it nice and browned off, add in 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of unsalted butter, the grated garlic, along with all of those shallots or shallots if you want to be the pronunciation, please. Mix this really well and cook it for 2 minutes just for the flavour from that garlic to infuse into the meat and the shallots. And also I use unsalted butter just so I can control the seasoning a lot better. Once you have that done, add in 2 teaspoons or 5 grams of smoked paprika and 4 tablespoons or 80 grams of concentrated tomato paste. Then just mix this all really well again. We're going to cook this for 4 minutes just for the oils in that tomato paste to start releasing. And this also is going to create the most beautiful depth in the pan. Now to create the sauce and deglaze the pan, add 1 litre or 4 cups of good quality beef stock, 2 teaspoons or 10 grams of brown sugar for a little bit of sweetness, 2 teaspoons or 10 milliliters of soy sauce just for that little bit of umami touch, the thyme and the parsley that we chopped up at the beginning, and then just season to taste with salt and cracked black pepper. 30 cracks worth. This can then be given a really good mix through for all of those flavors to become friends, and we're going to bring this up to a boil. Once it is at a boil, just give it another quick mix through, then we can reduce the heat to low, place on a lid. We're going to cook this for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. This isn't going to be completely cooked at this stage because we need to add the potatoes. Now after 1 hour and 15 minutes, remove the lid, be careful of any escaping steam, give this a good mix through, and if for any reason it is a little bit dry, you can add 1 cup or 250 milliliters of beef stock just to extend it out. It's completely fine and won't do anything. Once that is mixed through, you can then add in the potatoes. Make sure you cover them in all of that sauce, and now we're going to cook this over a low heat for about 30 to 40 minutes, just until those potatoes are nice and soft or fork tender, and we can leave the lid off at this stage, then it can be removed from the stovetop. Serving up can be done in many ways. You can serve it with pasta, rice, mash, salad, or even serve it on its own, which is what I'm doing, and I'm going to serve this with a little bit of crusty bread that I've just lightly toasted. I'm also garnishing it with some flat leaf parsley. You can also hit it up with some fresh thyme leaves or even a little bit of tarragon if you wanted to. But like I said, adding on that fresh toasted bread, you can also butter it for a little bit of extra flavour. And with that done, we are left with this beef and potato stew that I can guarantee you're going to love.
So there we have it, our beef and potato stew. The gravy developed really well. It has a beautiful colour to it, it has a nice consistency. The meat's really soft, it's tender, and those potatoes are perfectly cooked. I've served this with bread, but you can serve it with whatever you want. There is only one thing left to do, and that is, of course, we can then dig in.